What's up YouTube? It is your boy Lowpes and welcome back to another video, and today's an exciting video as always, but a little more exciting than usual because we got some Acuity goodies to install within the car. We got the new shift knob, we got a short shifter, not an adapter, we got the whole short shifter, and we have the boot collar to install. I'm going to show you guys the products and describe them and tell you about them shortly, but I want to give a huge shout out to Acuity for helping me out and sending these parts down, and let's get to it. I'm not gonna blabber any longer, I talk too much, so let's go. So this is the lovely care package I got from Acuity. We got some really nice goodies here. Like I said, we have the new shift knob, which I'm excited to install, the ESCO T6 shift knob. I got it in satin black. We have the titanium collar for the shift boot, which we're going to install and show you guys how to use it, but I may run it without the shift boot because this box is just insane. Then we got this nice little package with air fresheners and jet tags and whatnot, which we're going to use. And then let's move these guys. And then we got this bad boy. This is what I'm super excited for. I love short shifters and I'm crazy excited to install this. So let's start off with the ESCO T6 shift knob. I got it in satin black. It's anodized. It's the classic shape that comes in it. I'm gonna open it obviously and show you guys. All right, so we're gonna show you guys what's in the box and how this comes packaged. So we got the nut that's needed to tighten basically the shift knob into the positioning you want, so you can keep the letter straight, or the number straight, sorry. And this is a nice package here, and it's quality. So this thing looks absolutely fantastic. The finish on it looks great. I'm actually really excited to use this shift knob. It's about 185 grams, so it is weighted, but it's not stupid heavy, which is good. So it has a 40 millimeter diameter and a 70 millimeter height, so it fits in the hand quite nice and it feels nice. I'm excited to use this, and yeah, it feels really good in the hand. The finish looks amazing on it. I understand why a lot of people like using the shift knob and the older version, but I'm excited to get the black one because it'll just go with the interior of the car quite nice. So yeah, that's what you get in this, and then you get a little sticker as well, which is pretty badass. So here we have the shift boot collar upgrade, and I got it in titanium just because I thought a bit of color would look nice within the car. So I am going to remove my J's Racing one, and I'm going to use this because Acuity all the way pretty much, and this thing looks absolutely awesome. So this is going to replace the J's Racing one I have, or if it's OEM, you're going to have the OEM one that's going to replace with this. It looks really cool. I think it's going to add a nice little pop of color into the car. And what I thought was the purple within the titanium will match the shifter, so we'll get a little bit of color matching there. So this looks really cool, but now let's get on to the most exciting part, which is the shifter. This is the shifter. It comes packaged quite nice, and this thing is so sick. I cannot wait. So let's put that down. It's a little difficult with one hand, and there we go. They have a bit, oh, look who's here to help, Alexander, thank you. So she's going to hold this, and it comes with a bit of instructions here and what comes within the box, so you make sure you have all this before actually doing it. So let's take everything out and we're going to double check. Ooh la la. Got some more stickers. Alright, so we do have everything. We have our shifter lever assembly, which we have here. We have all our mounting bolts and everything that we need. And then we have our whole shifter assembly here. I'm really excited to put this in. It's going to be really awesome. But let's get into removing the paneling within the car so that we can get to installing this. We're going to start by entering in the car. You can remove the negative from your battery and make sure you have your e-brake up, and you're going to keep the car in neutral. And we're going to start off. I got just some tools here that I need. I need some prying tools, flathead, Phillips, and we're going to need a few more afterwards. But what you're going to start off first is within this whole center console, obviously. Okay, first what we're gonna do is we're gonna start off by pulling these guys. They take a bit of love, but they just pull out straight like that. I'm gonna put everything in the back seat for now, and then we're gonna go with this guy too, and just takes a bit of love to get these out. You gotta make sure you clear this all out. I have a few cents here still, because we're gonna have to go within the center console anyway. So make sure it's all cleaned out, and yeah, so next what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to get to these here, and we're gonna have to remove these. But first, let's remove our shift knob. So this didn't work out the greatest. I'm gonna end up removing my bride boot and the Jay's Racing shift collar. It was nice, but I'm gonna stick with the Acuity because I think it's just gonna look a lot better within the car itself. So we're gonna loosen the shift knot, put it away, and then what we're gonna have to do is work with these guys all the way up, and you're gonna have to use a pry tool and pry it up. This may take a little extra love from my side because I have these carbon panels over it. So use a pry tool, and you gotta just, well, that wasn't as bad as, and just pry. And then this here, the clip is in this way, so you gotta make sure when you pull this, you gotta pull this directly out, which is a bit of a pain. But there you go, so we got our first panel out, and actually came out pretty easily even with a carbon fiber on it. And we're gonna do the same thing for the other side. And now we're gonna go on to, and we're gonna remove this climate control here. Once again, you're gonna get a pry tool removal, and you're just gonna kind of pull it out. It just takes a little bit of loving. And there you go. So this pry tool actually works perfectly because you got to get within this gap right here, and then you pull it out. And do not pull this out extremely hard because you have plugs behind. And just make sure to take the plug, you just press down firmly. And you have one here as well. What you do is press down and pull just, and there you go. So make sure you keep this safe. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna have 2 screws on each side here. It's gonna be a Phillips, so you can take both of them out. Then after that, this should be able just to pry up, but don't go too crazy because what you do have on the other side are plugs again. So 1 plug, 2 plug, and 3 plug. Okay, so what we have here is we have a Phillips over here, then we have 1 up here and 1 over here. All right, so be very careful when you're taking all these bolts and screws out because you don't want it falling underneath your carpet, which happened to me once before when I installed the Type R shifter. So what I do have currently in the car is the Type R shifter, which is absolutely great. It will be for sale because I will not need it, and I do have the Acuity short shifter adapter as well, and that will be for sale as well. And we won't need those anymore since we have the whole shifter assembly. So take these 3 screws. For us Canadians, we do have a few extra steps just because we do have the wireless charging pad here. I'm going to show you guys how to remove it. It's kind of finicky, especially because this is just a little like casing around it that holds it down. So now we're going to take these 2 screws out here. And once again, they are a Phillips. Be very careful taking it out because it is a bit on a weird angle. And you know what? I'm going to show you guys a little pro tip here. So if you don't want to lose your screws and whatnot within, you can either use a plastic bag, or what you do is put a cloth in like this, because I am known to have butterfingers, and I have lost a few screws within engine bays and bolts and whatnot. So like this, if it ends up falling, it'll fall onto the rag hopefully. And we'll take this out like this. As you can see, everything's trying to get loose, and we have this little trim piece here, and it is a little nerve-wracking taking out because it is very flimsy. But what I like to do is just pull up and then just kind of go into the corner and use my finger. And if you have a pry tool, that should aid you as well. And there you go. So that is the little trim piece, and you want to be very careful with it. It is very flimsy, and I'm sure it's very expensive. So now we have the wireless charging station. Okay, so once you remove these 2 screws, you're just going to kind of wiggle this around, and it'll come loose. And once again, you do have a plug on the back. So make sure you press down and you pull out, and you're going to keep this safe because this is expensive as well. As you see, this all comes loose. Make sure you get your plugs and you run it underneath it so it doesn't get stuck. You're going to have to put it into 4th or 2nd gear, and this is one piece of the puzzle that is that's come out already. And let's continue. So now we're going to remove this, and what you're going to do is just remove your mat, and then we're going to put that aside. And then if you see underneath here, you have there's like a little slot here, and what you're going to have to do is kind of put a flat head or a pry, and just you're going to have to pull it out. The pry tools do help. And like I said before, be careful because you know you're going to have plugs on the back side of it, so you're not going to go too crazy with it. Just pull it out gently, and then we're going to unplug it, and then we have the other plug here, and there we go. So that is loose. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to take the mat down here, which sometimes if you have nails it's easy, if you don't it's not. So I'm just gonna use a little pry tool just to get it loose, and there you go. There's a little Easter egg on the back of this, and mine is a little dirty because, you know, I suck at detailing cars, but I can install things, which is cool. So you're gonna have 2 Phillips in here as well, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna obviously take them out, and we're almost done removing this entire center console area so that we can start working on the shifter. So what we're gonna have to do now, I'm not sure if the US models have this, but the Canadians do. You're gonna have to remove this with a pry tool all around here, and you're gonna have to unplug the heated seats for the rear. Let's see if I can do it with one hand. Probably not, because it's oh, there we go. We're actually doing it. There you go. Once again, same thing on the other side, but do not go too crazy. You do have plugs. As you see, I just push in and I twist, push in and I twist, and then you have 2 plugs right here. After you've done taking these 2 clips out, you're gonna have this guy right here, and you're gonna pull him out, and then you're gonna have this clip that clips into the back of here, and you're gonna have to remove this so they're able to push this whole center console out, because this will tug the wire, so we're gonna remove that right here as well. Within the center console here, you're gonna have to pull these all out from where they're attached, just so that when you pull, or when you're trying to take this whole center console out, they don't pull the wires, and then you wouldn't be able to remove them. So you're gonna have to remove them. You're gonna see them all attached to different areas within here, and you're just gonna use either a pry tool or a flathead and just pry them out. Once that is all done, you're gonna take this whole center console and you're gonna lift it over the shifter, and you're gonna remove it to the back. You're gonna have to do that so that we can access everything within the shifter, and we're gonna remove the old shifter and put the exciting new Acuity one on. So let's see. What you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to lift this over. So it takes a little bit of maneuvering, and we do still have a plug underneath here, and that is what is holding it, and it was for the USB charger, and we're almost there. And there you go. Working within a car is not fun, I promise you that, especially when you have to take things this big out in a car this big. But it is out, and now we're gonna work within the shifter. Let's go. Now you're gonna get your Phillips screwdriver, and you're going to loosen these so we can take this bracket out of the way, and just store them with the rest of your screws. Once again, be careful so it doesn't fall underneath the carpet, which that has happened to me, and that was not a fun experience. So now you're gonna remove this because you're gonna need the space to access this. Now we're going to remove this, and what we're gonna do is just use a flathead and pry it out and pick it out. I suggest you putting something underneath the shifter just in case it gets lost within the carpet, which happened to me. So we're gonna do that now. We're gonna pry it out. I've used a flathead and I've just picked this out, and just be very careful because this does go flingy, and you really need to be careful with this and make sure you put it somewhere safe. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna get a flathead, and we're just gonna pry these. You're just gonna pry them out and try. And there you go. So now what we're gonna do, we've taken this off, we've taken that off, and now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take out the shifter cable, which I just did already. They are a little difficult to take out. What I recommend is a pick tool, a flathead, or a smaller flathead. I'll show you exactly what I have. I have this flathead, and what I did is in this section here, so you have this little tab right here, and what that does is it holds the shifter cable in place, and what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to basically get a pick tool or a flathead, and you're gonna have to bend it so that you're able to twist it and take it out. It's funny, last time this one I got out right away. There you go. Just speaking about it. And make sure you don't lose it and it doesn't clip back in. And now we're gonna have to take these 4 mounting bolts out. There are 10. We'll start with the top one here. Let's show them. 1, you have 2 right here. I like to take the shifter off first just so I can access it easier. Then over here, 3 and 4. We're just gonna remove those, and you guys will see the next step. Once you removed all 4 mounting bolts there that mount the shifter, you're gonna just have this one last clip here, and then everything else will be able to come out. And yeah, so super exciting. We got this whole thing out, and now we're gonna install the short shifter, and let's get to it. So I just kind of wanted to put these side by side. So that is the Type R shifter with the Acuity short shifter adapter, and this is the whole assembly here from Acuity, which looks absolutely amazing. I'm gonna get all the mounting screws. I'm going to insert them into the base bushings here, and what we're gonna do is we're going to basically put this into place, but make sure you run your cables correctly and make sure they go. This main cable goes through the center, and it takes a little finicking around just because it's tight space and you're working with quite a few things here, but it will all line up, and once it lines up, just tighten it by hand. What's really cool about all their parts here is they even tell you what size works and the torque specs and whatnot. So we're just going to tighten this by hand here first. We're going to run the cables in, and we're going to turn them opposite of how we ran them last time to take them out. I've put the first cable in. You're going to put it in, and then you're going to turn it until it clicks in properly and make sure it locks. As you can see, it's locked properly. Make sure that you align it properly, and then, you know, it takes a little bit of finicking, but it does work and it goes in quite easily. And now we're going to do the second one, and it's just literally opposite of what we just did. There you go. Jesus Christ. And then lock it into place. And once you've turned, you can see this little pin here, and what that does is it locks it from moving. As you can see, it does not allow it to go anywhere. Same with this. This isn't going absolutely nowhere. So we are absolutely groovy. We are good. Here what you have is your gate spacing. So with a 19mm wrench, you're going to be able to loosen this and bring it higher or lower to adjust it to however you'd like it. Right now I've just adjusted it to the middle so that we would be able to, now we're going to be able to put that, and we're going to put the pin back on, and then after that the shifter cable back on here, and we're going to adjust this as well. But let's get on to doing this first and putting the pin on here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a cloth here, because this has happened to me before where I have lost the clip and it was not a fun time. And so what we're going to do is the clip is going to go on like this, and if I can do it with one hand and hold a camera, I'm going to be very impressed with myself. But this is probably how I lost it last time. So when you're facing the shifter, you're going to have to put it on exactly like this. You're going to put this left side on like this, and you're going to stretch it and or bend it, whatever, and put it on. And we're going to do that right now. And there you go. So we've put the factory pin back on. We've tightened the gateway adjustment here. Now we're going to put the shifter lever back on over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to center this, and we're just going to, as easily as just push up, it's going to spread these two pins, and boom. And now that is done, and this feels super tight. That's gonna I'm so excited for this shifter. Oh my god. To adjust your throws, what you're gonna have to do is get an Allen wrench here. I'm going to bring mine to the highest, and then I'll be able to just work it out and see how it is afterwards. And now we're gonna put the shifter lever, and when you put it into here, what you can do is adjust how you want it. I'm going to keep it closest to me because I think that is the most useful, and then we can adjust the height of the rod as well. What's really cool about this is they tell you what range you should put the shifter and what angle. As you see, left hand drive, right hand drive, and yeah, it's pretty cool. I like how much detail to the shifter, I really do. So what's cool now is they actually show you the arrow of what angle you should put it in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of keep it straight like this, because I think that is kind of looks the best and kind of maybe seem the best. And we're going to use the same hex socket here, and I'm just going to leave it on 0, and now we're just going to tighten it, and there you go. You'll be able to adjust the height of your lever here, and I can't do it by hand. I'm going to leave everything at the shortest for now, and then maybe work my way up depending on how I like it. So I'm going to leave it on 1 just because I'm not into super high. And holy, this feels, oh man, this feels amazing. So now what we're going to do, you have this piece here, and what you're going to do is you even have an arrow showing exactly where it should go. So you're just going to screw it in. So this here, we're going to screw in, you have an arrow telling you where to go and exactly what pounds of torque. And I'm just going to screw it in by hand for now. And make sure you do this all to spec. For video purposes, I'm just going to show you guys just quickly how it's done. And now what you're going to do is you're going to get this cable, and it's going to go underneath here and up, and it's just going to hold it in place right here, just like that. And we're going to install everything back, and then we're going to install the shift knob properly. But it does look pretty badass. I would love to keep it all out like this, so I'll have way too many type of lights and kind of like my heated seats and all that fun climate control stuff. So I'm gonna put everything back in. Once everything's reinstalled, we're gonna come back to the video, and I'm gonna show you guys how this feels, and we're gonna install the shift knob with the shift boot collar. So we've completed the install of the short shifter. We've put everything back. I'm going to leave it without a boot. So before you reinstall everything, if you want to install your boot collar, what you're gonna have to do is, this is all gonna have to be removed. I was going to use the boot originally, but I just think I wanna show off the Acuity short shifter. I think it looks badass, so why not show it off? So what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna take your boot, and it's gonna be within your shifter console still, but it's gonna be upside down like this, and you're gonna take it like that, and you're gonna just pull it through. Then we're gonna get zip ties. And you make sure when you do zip tie this, you're gonna zip tie the boot as well, and you don't miss the boot, because I boot this and I boot that. I'm just gonna tighten it, just like that. It's nice and tight. And now we're just gonna trim. Now we're gonna do one more, and where it's gonna go, it's within the grooves of the actual shift collar. So once that's done, you're gonna flip this back inside out, and and there you go. And it's sitting quite beautiful. Let's say your boot is sitting like this, and it's sitting in here, and then what you do is you install this, and then that would clip up and it would sit just in there like that, and then you can put your shift knob right on. Now we're gonna install the shift knob. I'm gonna show you what comes in with the shift knob, and I think we're pretty much done. We're gonna do a little drive along, and you're gonna see how it drives, and I'm gonna describe my feelings, and then in a couple weeks I'm gonna make another video, because this does break in, and after it breaks in I'll just tell you if there's any differences, good, bad, whatever it is, and I'll describe it. So let's get the shift knob. Once you open the box, you have this lovely case here, and it holds the shift knob, and then you get a nut to lock the shift knob in place. So we're gonna get Alexander to do it, because this is girlfriend friendly and you don't have to be the best mechanic in the book to do this. So Alexander, what we're gonna do is you're gonna open up that Acuity bag with that little shift, with that little nut there, and you're going to screw it onto here, and be very careful not to drop it. Now screw it all the way to the bottom for now. So now we're gonna take the shift knob out, which just already scratching up. And let's show them the shift knob before we put it in. Pretty badass. The satin finish on it looks really, really nice. The quality is nice and it feels great in your hand. So let's put it on here. So the whole point of this is you want to keep the number straight, and what the nut does is helps you allow it to do that. So what you're gonna do is keep turning until it's tight, and then if you want, we'll just tighten this nut a little higher. Now turn the shift knob. This takes some adjusting, and there you go. And now it's sitting there properly. What you can do is you can get a wrench and really tighten it, but I don't want to take a chance in chipping this amazing shift knob or scratching it up. But look at that, ladies and gentlemen. We are done the install. Super hyped on it. It looks absolutely amazing. Just sitting here feels great. Like, before we start, we have to christen the car. We're gonna take this air freshener out of here, which is probably one of my favorites, just because it matches the look of the car, the no smoking. And it's time to bless Black Mamba here with, ooh, that smells good, with the Acuity. Look at that. And now the car is officially blessed. And let's get to shooting. I don't even know how to describe it. It's just so clean. It gets into the gear so easily. The throws are so short. There you go, fit 6. And let's actually go for a drive. We're gonna do a second. Let's go! Yo! This car's coming along. It is coming along. I have the AC on and all. It's moving nice. This shifter feels great. I'm super hyped. Let's go. This shifter feels so good. Oh my God. I'm not even exaggerating. Talk to anybody who owns an Acuity shifter box. They will tell you straight up it is the best shifter box they've owned. Like this. I love how customizable it is. I can still customize it to my likings, but I'm already getting used to this. Every gear. Oh, that feels so good. I'm super hyped. Oh shit, man, super hyped. Oh, I know I'm not looking at you guys too much, but I'm paying attention to driving. I'm sorry. I don't want to die. Damn, son, let's go. So, first and second feels great. It's so crisp. Once you're in gear, you know you're in gear. It's not. There you go. Let's see if we can hit a second finally. There you go. There you go. I am starting to get really used to this shifter box now. This thing feels so good. You know what? Even with the shift knob, I think the shift knob looks really well in the car too. The anodized black looks fantastic. It fits well in your hand. I have zero complaints on it. It goes with the shifter assembly very well. I understand why they went with this type of design, just because the way it actually sits in your hand, like it's perfect. And it gives you a bit of height. We're close to the steering wheel still. And remember, you can adjust this to any which way you want, which is absolutely great. And with every lever that they give you, every adjustment, they tell you what size you need to adjust it and how far you can go safely in adjusting it. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. The shifter is installed. I showed you how to do the boot collar, and we got the shift knob. It looks absolutely fantastic. It drives so clean, so crisp. I highly recommend it. If you haven't already checked out any of Acuity stuff, make sure to go check it out. I'll leave their website down below and their Instagram and all that type of stuff. Go check it out because they make quality parts at great prices. Like I said, I haven't seen many companies go to the extent of detail that they go into to showing you how to install it at home. They want you to do it at home, and they want you to learn how to do it, and do it. That's, I'm just super hyped, super happy. I can't speak any English. Lord Jesus, thank you so much for watching, guys. I want a big shout out to Acuity. Big shout out to Alexander for shooting and helping me out with this video. I love you guys. Peace out. Do it once, do it right. Later.